Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Maxie Jones.
So about 25 years ago, I'm in the Bronx, New York, where I grew up. I'm at a party, and I'm dancing with this woman. We must have danced like 6, 7, 8 records, and finally I stopped and I just looked at her, and I saw her looking at me. And I said, "You're gonna be my wife." I didn't say that to her, I said it to myself. And it felt like she was saying the same thing to me, but to herself too. It was a dance turned into a romance. And after we finished dancing, I asked her, I said, "Hey, you mind if I take you to lunch tomorrow?" She said, "Lunch? What about dinner?" And I said, "Dinner's cool, but I really don't want to have to wait that long to see you again." Fellas, y'all can use that one. I don't need it no more. So the next day came, I picked her up, we went to lunch, and it was wonderful. Perfect chemistry. We laughed at everything. We had the time of our lives. We even sat on a bench for a long time. We talked and we walked and we just did so much until the day grew old and it started to get dark again. And I said to her, "Can I take you to dinner now?" She said, "Sure, but I would like to change clothes. Would you mind taking me home so I could change my clothes?" I said, "No problem." We went to her place. She said, "Listen, have a seat right here." She gave me a glass of lemonade. I sat on the couch. She gave me the remote, said, "Just watch some TV. I'm going to go in the room and change." I said, "Sure." So I'm sitting there watching TV. I got my lemonade, and suddenly I feel something crawling up my leg. I stomped my foot, and a cockroach went running straight across the floor. I was like, "All right, Maxie, don't trip. I had roaches. This is not a big deal." I just calmed down. I was like, "This is some bullshit." I was reaching for my lemonade. There was a cockroach on the lemonade. I was like, "No." So I got up from my chair. I was like, "I'm gonna go sit at the dining room table where I can see my surroundings better." I went to the dining room table. I picked up the dining room chair and I shook it like this. I wanted to tap it on the floor, but she would have heard it. So I just shook it. I sat down at the dining room table and I had my lemonade. I didn't drink it, but I had my lemonade. And I'm sitting there and I looked up, and on the ceiling, there was a hole where the chandelier used to be. And I'm just sitting there just imagining the cockroach come falling out of that hole. And I was like, "Oh no, I got to go now." I went to her bedroom door. I said, "Listen, I'm going to be waiting in my car, okay?" She's like, "What are you talking about? I'm coming out soon." I said, "No, no, no, no. I will be in my car. When you finish, come downstairs. I'll be right in front of the building." And I left. I went and got in my car, drove around to the front, sat in the front of the building. I put it in park. And I was like, "Maxie, why are you tripping? You had such a wonderful day with this woman, and you gonna let some roaches ruin it? I said, man, it ain't like you didn't have roaches yourself. See, let me tell y'all something. When I was growing up and I was a little kid in the housing projects in the Bronx, I had a Johnny Lightning racing set. Y'all remember the Johnny Lightning racing set? Oh, y'all ain't that old, huh? Stop lying. Y'all had Johnny Lightning racing set. And I was watching the cars go around and around and around. After a while, I was like, I'm bored now. I need a roach. I went in the closet, digging through the closet, found me a roach, put it in the car, ran the car around the track till the roach went flying out the car. Went and got it, put it back in there again, and spun it around again. When I was in high school, before I left for school in the morning, I would have to take my sneakers and I would have to shake them out, make sure all the roaches were out before I put my sneakers on. And then sometimes I would go to school, and I'll be in class, and I'll feel a little tickling in my shoe. And I'll have to go in the bathroom and shake it out again, and then chase it down and kill it. But if it was underneath my toe, I would just go like this right here, like this. And just get it later. Are y'all thoroughly disgusted? No? Well, check this out. One time I had a friend over. I was like, yo, I'm gonna give me a bowl of cereal. You want some cereal? Yeah. I said, you want some cereal? He was like, sure. I reached up in the cupboard, got the cereal out, and I was tapping on the counter like that. He was like, hey man, why are you tapping on the counter like that? I said, I got to tap it and let all the roaches run out before I pour it in the bowl. Hey, where you going, man? Where you going? I was pouring my bowl of cereal. I was like, man, that's a strange brother right there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I ate a lot of roach doo-doo in my youth. You disgusted now? Now, here's the thing. I thought that was normal. It was normal for me. And I didn't know it wasn't normal until I was in college and I had some college friends come over. And they were over, we were chilling, we were having fun. A cockroach went walking up the wall. One of my friends said, ew! And another friend damn near tore up my furniture trying to get out. And I was like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all ain't got no roaches? They were like, no, we don't. I was like, really? And that was the first time I realized that wasn't normal. It was after my friends left that I really thought about it. And after I thought about it, I felt so embarrassed to have had them over and have them see that. But more than that, I was ashamed. I was ashamed of myself for not knowing that wasn't okay. Thank you. Thanks, Satori, for planting a therapist right over here. Anybody need therapy? So here I am sitting in the car, waiting for this young lady to come downstairs, and I'm asking myself, Maxie, why are you tripping like this when you familiar with this? And I just couldn't understand. And finally she came down, she got in the car and she said, what happened? And I wanted to tell her right there, but I couldn't. I just couldn't come out and say it. And I mean, it's not like she said, was it the roaches? If she'd have said that, I would say, yeah, it was the roaches. But she didn't say that. So I was like, oh, nothing, it'll be all right. It's just me. And we went on, we had dinner. And again, it was great. And we had a wonderful time, and we laughed, and the chemistry was wonderful. And there was a moment when I actually sat across the table from her, and I looked at her, and I said to myself, this is the best day I ever spent with a woman in my entire life. Thanks. And I'm not going to let no roaches ruin it. I'm just going to keep going. When dinner was over, I drove her home. We pulled in front of her building, and she said, would you like to come inside? I said, sure. We go inside. Now it's nighttime now. We walk into her apartment. She closes the door and click, turns on the light. And it was like some polka dots on the wall. They all just went running. All the polka dots went running, and I freaked out, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. It was like the X-Files. She was like, what's the matter? I was like, look, nothing, I gotta go. And this was the Bronx. He had like 4 locks on the door, and I was trying to get out. I gotta get out of here. And I ran out. It took me quite a few days to get over that. And when I finally did, I called her again, and I asked her if she wanted to go out again, and she was like, I don't know, you might run out on me again. And I was like, I promise I won't run out on you. And she said, what is it? What do you think, I'm going to jump on you or something? And in my mind, I was like, it ain't you that I'm worried about jumping on me. But I didn't say that. I just said, listen, I have an idea. Why don't I come get you and bring you over to my place? She was like, that's a good idea. So I picked her up, I brought her over. And here's the thing. I ain't had no roaches. And here's the thing. I wasn't that great a cook, so I went to a soul food restaurant, and I brought some food over from a soul food restaurant. And we ate, and the food was really, really good. And she said to me, she's like, Maxie, this food is really good. She said, but I cook better than this. She said, you gotta let me cook for you. And I said, well, sure. My kitchen is all yours. She's like, no. I can't cook in your kitchen. I need to cook in my kitchen. She said, I want you to come over to my house, and I'll cook you a nice meal. And then she said, and if you're good, I'll even fix you breakfast in bed. And I pictured it, breakfast in bed. And I said, you know what? Nope, I gotta tell her right now. Right this minute. So I said, listen, I got to tell you something. And she said, no. She said, I already know. In my mind, I'm like, you already know, and you put me through this shit? What was this, a test? This is one of those things like, if you don't accept my roaches, then you can't have me. I said, you already know? You already know what? She said, I know why you don't want to come over my place. She said, you don't want to come over my place because you are afraid that we're going to wind up in bed too soon and we're going to ruin this whole thing. And you're just trying to preserve it, right? And I said, yeah, that's it. That's it. I lied to her. I lied to her. And I knew I was lying to her when I did it, because I really didn't want to have her experience what I experienced when I was first informed that this just wasn't normal. And so I just kind of left it at that. The trauma that I experienced when I found out that the way I was brought up was different, I didn't want to put her through it, so I just left it. At the end of that evening, I drove her home again to Brooklyn. And when I drove her home, again, pulled in front of her place, and she said to me, she said, "If you come inside, I promise I won't jump on you." And once again, I said to myself, you know, I had a choice. I could either leave and deal with this another time, or I could go inside and let her know what the issue is, because I would have to, or else I'd end up running out on her again. And I said to her, I said, you know what? Maybe another time. And I think at that moment, she probably had all kinds of questions about, why doesn't this guy want to come inside? I have no idea what she thought. But I just left it at that. And another time never came. I never went back to her place, and she never came back to mine. And after that, I spent 2 decades thinking about what might have been between me and this person who had this great chemistry. But 2 decades also did something else. It made me realize that whatever might have been, whatever it was that might have been between me and her, the only way it could have been is if I had just told her the truth. Thank you.
Maxie Jones.